What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Moon Studio Dark Knight, their version of a masterpiece Getsuei. So this is the next in the line of train bots from Moon Studio, which are going to combine to make Radiatron, their version of Raiden. Now this is sort of competing with the Takara product, which is the masterpiece MPG line. And I did look at the first one, Iceland. For the reason they came out of order, so Iceland is MS-02, this is MS-01, but I just got them in opposite order. But let's take a look at this. Now, I got this a couple days ago, but it was Seeker City here at TM Reviews because we had so many Seekers coming, and I wanted to get those out of the way, but I'm kind of Seekered out, so now we're going to take a look at this guy. And really, really nice looking. These bots have been turning out great. Let's take a quick 360 with the image there from the cartoon if I can find a good one. There's the side, really nice clean back again, just like before. I really like how they've been just designing these such that everything folds up nicely. Lots and lots of die cast. So basically this toe is die cast. This, I believe, is plastic, I want to say. I don't know. Some of it feels like die cast. The thighs are certainly die cast. Perhaps internals of the chest are die cast. So you got some nice heft on this guy. He does feel really good. And the transformation is very similar to the Iceland figure. It's a little bit different, but because he's also a leg bot, he's going to have a similar transformation. He does come with the same two accessories, so you get this gun right here, painted red. That looks nice. And you can get that in his hand. Just has a little tab, very similar to past Zeta Toys figures. Now, it's still not clear to me whether this is Zeta or Moon Studio, but for now we're going to assume it's a new company called Moon Studio. But there you go. You also get this gun, which is identical to the gun that we got with the Iceland figure. And you can fold down the handle here, which allows you to put it in his hand. And again, it is a heavy gun. Now, my figure does have a loose elbow on the side, but you can sort of cheat. You can use the upper elbow, so he has a double jointed elbow here. So if you use the other joint, it's nice and tight, and he can hold it. It is a very heavy gun, but he can hold it with that second joint. So there's a workaround. It's just not the best. For me personally, I prefer to take it off and just place it on the back, fold up the handle, and it pops in right there, and that works for me. All right, now let's go over Dark Knight's articulation. The head is on the same ball joint as Iceland, so it goes down to there, up to there, side to side, and it rotates all the way around. And the ears do rotate, so you can get them in any position. My ear on this side is a little bit loose, so I'll probably put a little bit of kiki in there to tighten that up. The other side seems fine, nice and tight. Really nice head sculpt. I like the way it looks. It may not be accurate to the show, but I really like the sculpt of it and the look of it. And the colors, the blue eyes just look nice. The shoulders rotate all the way around. On this joint, they go up to here. If you open this joint, you can get it even further. Although it's for transformation, you can get it up there. Or if you use this inner joint, you can get it up to there. So you can really get the arm all the way up if you want to. Double jointed elbow gets you the full bend. And I mentioned earlier, my lower elbow is a little bit on the loose side, especially when you put the heavy gun in there. You have a rotation at the wrist, same fingers as before on 1, 2 pins, and then the thumb is on a ball joint with a pin, so you can get it in and out like that. Not the best hands, but not the worst hands I've seen either. I kind of like them. You have a rotation at the waist. You kind of have to lift up on the backpack, just like we did with Iceland. Then you can get it. You do have an ab crunch, so I made a mistake in my Iceland review. I said it didn't have ab crunch. It does. There's a little locking pin here. So if you unlock the locking pin, he does get an ab crunch. Now, just to reiterate that, here is Iceland. Here's the locking tab, and he's also got the ab crunch. So my mistake on that articulation, it was there, it's just kind of hidden, and you do have to untransform it a little bit to get to there. So that's really nice. You have hip skirts here, move out of the way. Nice, tight ratchet, hard ratchet, up to there. Oops, we'll just leave that off. Back to there, out to the side on friction. That one's a little loose. This one's tight. Let's see, is that on a screw? No, no screw. You have a rotation at the thigh. You have a single jointed knee, gets you 90 degrees. Let's put this back on. You have an ankle tilt all the way up to there. You have a toe tilt, not really, kind of upwards. No, and you have a pivot. If you pull this down, you have a pivot forward and backwards. So everything you would need on this spot. For size comparison, there is Dark Knight next to MP44 Optimus and the Moon Studios Iceland. They really look nice together, and they scale well. They're nice big bots. They are obviously a little bit taller than MP44. They'll fit in nicely on your Headmasters shelf. They're all fairly large bots, so will go really nicely with the MP Headmaster collection. All right, now let's get this guy transformed into his train mode. And very similar to the others, there's a couple little differences, but overall really similar. So let's get started. Go ahead, and if you haven't taken the weapons off, just take those off, set those aside. Go ahead and open this panel up here, give you a little room to work. Open up this panel here, and that's going to allow you to take the hand, and it has to be folded up perfectly or you'll have a little trouble getting it in here, but it's going to rotate around and work its way into there. And then you want to accordion this down so that the elbow is inside, and then you can close this panel. Make sure the fingers are nice and closed. You don't want to snag those. And there you go. Go ahead and lift up on this panel here. We're going to rotate this up. Now you have to bend it here, not down here. So don't use the elbow joint. You want to bend this entire panel right here. So unpeg this, fold this up. It's going to peg into the top here. Look like that. Go ahead and rotate this down, and the panel should just sit like that. We're going to take the head, open up this panel. This is going to go in here. I like to put the ears a little bit backwards because I don't know if they're going to hit the front, but on the back you can actually see. So you can see there, the ears are going to clear. This door is not going to hit it. So I prefer to fold the ears just to slightly back so I can see where they're fitting in. All right, go ahead and close that up. Take this, rotate that up, and take this panel. This is on a slider, so go ahead and slide that in. And this is going to, or sorry, I'll throw that out. This is going to come down and peg into the side right there. All right, so that's one side done. That's what it looks like. Let's get the other side done. All right, that's pretty good. So let's take the backpack, take this off, unfold this. This is going to come up and peg into here. So get that pegged in. Like that. Take this panel, slide it down, fold it up, and then slide it back in. These panels on the side are going to open up just a hair. I notice my copy is very tight. I don't know if everyone's like that, but I don't want to break it. So don't try to pull it all the way out. Just pull it enough so that you can get these panels in. All right, so it should look like that. Take this panel. For now, don't take this out because we're going to need the space. And it'll be kind of in your way. So just leave this like this. All right, don't close it all the way. But leave it there so it's out of your way. All right, now we'll work on the legs. Go ahead and unpeg this panel on the side. Go ahead and unpeg from the back here as well. And unpeg from here. That'll allow you to get to the inside here. And we're going to open up all these panels. So take this one, you can fold that out. Take this one, rotate that around. These are going to peg together. But it's probably going to come apart, but just leave it like that. All right, next we'll take care of this leg. So go ahead and open up this panel here. Fold out the wheel piece. Fold that down flat. Close this panel up so it pegs back into the leg. And then close this up, and that's going to peg into the bottom. And then we can open up these wheels and just leave that like that for now. Come to the top here, pull this foot down, and you can kind of open up this panel here. This foot is going to, it was folded this way. You're going to fold that down, kind of fold it on its own. Push that in and then open up that panel. Come to the side here, you can kind of see how this is going to go together. Open this up. And it's on a double hinge, so fold the double hinge. Peg that into the front. And give that a squeeze. And there's one side pretty much all done. We'll get this plugged in as well. Right, so now we'll do the same thing on this side. So it should look like that. Take the legs, bring those together. Make sure the wheels are out of the way on the bottom, right? Not colliding. And tab this together. Right. And we'll take care of this in just a minute. Oh, it looks like we forgot to do this. So go ahead and open up these. That should definitely be done before you tab this in. I just was able to do it just now, but definitely do that before. And these are going to tab into the side like that. And then same on this side. Going to tab in. You kind of bring it to the outside. There's a little bit of bending of plastic there, which is typical for Zeta toys. Oh, we lost this panel here. Right, come to the bottom here. We're going to get these wheels plugged into each other. So get them lined up, and then just over under tabs and get those locked in like that. Actually, before we tab these in, take this roof panel, fold that out. That's going to come down and it should fit right there. And that's going to go under here. And this is interesting. So open up these panels, get this tabbed in here first. Otherwise, when you push down, it's going to push this panel down. So you need the leverage of this holding it before you can do that. So this is an over-under. Get this tabbed in. Same on this side. Get this tabbed in to the side. And it looks like this worked its way in, so that's good. And then last step, this is going to come down and close that up. And now we can take care of the wheels. This wheels came undone. So, open up the rear wheels. And then secure all the locking tabs. There's 4 locking tabs. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that basically makes sure the wheels aren't going to fall back down. And there we have Dark Knight in terrain mode. Really beautiful. Of course, pretty much 100% painted. You got the blue, the yellow here in the front, a little bit of silver highlights for the windshield wipers, translucent for the lights, white up here. Here's the side, looks nice. More silver back here, and then more tail lights. Pretty sure this is the front. I don't know, maybe this is the front. Not even sure. Maybe it's just a car, but it really looks good. It does have the wheels. You can turn them, so if you wanted to kind of rotates, rolls and rotates really nicely. You can have it go straight as well. I do have tracks from Fans Toys Thomas. You can't put it on there for display. It does look nice. And I wish they gave us tracks, but unfortunately they don't. But if you have this, you could use something like this. I've also been told that it works well with the Lego tracks. I don't know exactly which line or which scale, but if you have Lego train tracks, you can use it with this as well. For this, the tracks are too wide for these wheels. Size comparison, there it is next to the Transform Element Nemesis Prime. I don't know why I have Nemesis Prime. That's just the comparison I'm doing. But he does fit in. Probably a little bit small, but I mean, not much bigger you could make these trains. They're already huge. So I think it's fine. It looks good enough for an MP collection. And for another comparison, there is Dark Knight next to Iceland in their train modes. Really nice looking. I guess this is a train car and this is the engine or whatever. So they do give you this, and I actually forgot to show it, but it actually makes more sense when you have 2 of these. So this allows you to connect the cars together. It is magnetic. And you take this basically and plug it right here on the back. And it's tight. You really got to give it a push. Okay, there you go. And it does have some rotation there. And then you take this one, put that on this side. Oops, and we knocked the door off. That's going to be part of the combiner mode, so I'll show you that in a little bit. Then go ahead and take them and just attach them. All right, there you go. You can connect them together. Now if you have some tracks, even better, you can put them on the tracks. And I don't have a track long enough, but you could do that. Now, assuming we're going to have 6 of these things when we're done with this combiner, it's going to be a really, really big train. I don't even know if anybody has space to display this, but very, very cool option here to display them together in their alt modes with this kind of setup. Truly a cool integration of characters and figures. Now, before we go into combine mode, I did want to mention you can take the gun and combine them like that, and that can, of course, peg in the top, and you can ride around like that. It's whatever. I mean, it's got storage. Really nice that they do it. I probably wouldn't do it, but you can do it if you want to. All right, so let's get him transformed. Very, very similar to the Iceland figure, right? Basically, almost identical. So let's start on the front here. So first, we got to get these panels up. You may want a spudger or something like that to pop them up. And remember, those were the last panels we put in when we put it together. Then we can go ahead and take this panel and detach that. And that's going to make the back of the foot. Same on this side, you can detach that. All right. So now we're going to lift up this panel here. And that's going to open up, fold this in, and it'll come back down and sit there. And we have the same mechanisms as we did on Iceland, right? So we're going to take these legs and they're going to fold here. But we have to do something first before we do that. So go ahead and we're going to detach the 2 legs from each other because we got to get inside here. We don't need these wheels. We can fold those up. And make sure you close the retaining clip before you do that. Otherwise you won't be able to close those wheels. All right, so now come down to here. We're going to open up. We need to open up a lot actually. So open up that foot. Open this panel just so you have a little space, right? Give it a little bit of angle. But I'll need to open this panel up. Open that panel up. And now we're going to take this leg and this is going to accordion in. And then we're going to bend at the joint there. Okay, so you should end up with that. You can see there's a tab right there. It's going to go into the slot on the leg that we just accordioned inwards. Right, then go ahead and close that back up. You can put this panel back where you had it. Push that back in. This panel is going to stay upwards. And I didn't mean to unplug this, but it did come unplugged. And we'll probably take care of that at the end, because it may come out again. All right, so that is ready for the combine mode. So now let's do the same thing on this side. It's literally exactly the same. All right, and now we can kind of put this back together. Put this panel back together. And if this came out, just fix it. Come to the back here. Fold this panel down. You can see there's an over-under on both of these, on the top and the bottom. So get those over-unders in. Obviously, this panel is in first. On the bottom, and then on the top, this panel is on top. So it kind of is a crisscross fit. So there you go. All right, final few steps here. Go ahead and take the wheels. Fold those down. They're going to plug in right there. Come to the top here, we're going to take this door out of here, and probably should have done this earlier because now it's going to be a little bit harder, but pop this panel open. On the inside there's a little spot to put it. It'll only fit one way, so there we go. Then go ahead and take this and close this down and just reattach that, fold that back forward. And there's Dark Knight in his combine mode. Really, really good looking. Just a solid leg. It looks great. It does have articulation, so it goes back that way, forward that way. This does hinder it a little bit. And then to the sides, you can use that joint inside the waist, which wasn't really a waist joint, but that can open up and get more articulation. So plenty of movement on that leg. And for comparison, there it is next to the Zeta Toys Superion, next to the legs there, and looking really awesome. So you can see it's basically the same size, maybe slightly shorter to the kneecap, but very, very close. It's much chunkier, so blockier looking. In terms of like the overall size of the foot, it's definitely bigger than these part-forming pieces for the feet. So I like how they look. This is really looking like it's going to be a very nice combiner. But there you go for a comparison. So final thoughts on the Moon Studio Dark Knight. Let's start with the positives. I think it looks great in all three modes. Robot, Train, and Combined mode are very strong. Typically, and I mentioned this with Iceland, that one of those gets sacrificed, and in this case, they didn't do that. I also think that the paint and the sculpt and the deco overall looks really good. It's appropriate for the character. It may not be an exact 100% nail on the head, but I think it's really, really close enough. And the reimagining of this character, I think, is great. Accessories work. The articulation is great. The only negatives I really have is this ear right here is kind of loose, so I'm going to need some kiki for that. And then this shoulder joint is loose as well. But that's it. I mean, this is going to be a really good combiner. The combiner is looking amazing already. It's going to be very big and menacing. And right now, it's not sold out everywhere, but I will be willing to make bets that as soon as we start combining it, maybe when we get the torso or maybe the other limb bots, and we start seeing what this might look like, it's going to start selling out because people are going to recognize how good of a combiner this is going to be and don't want to miss out. And I will bet you by the time we get to the end with this combiner, it's going to be gone. So thanks to G. Tony for sending this my way for review. He actually asked me to hold on to these until we're done with all the combiner. So we're going to be taking a look at the rest of the arms and the torso and everything. You can pick this up at Toy Dojo. They actually are just sold out of Iceland. I believe they are maybe going to be getting more stock of these two. So check out Toy Dojo's website if you're looking for this. And they will be getting more soon. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.